Okay.
I'm just gonna go now.
Dame, never thought I'd hear from you again, buddy. I legit thought after this terrible awards season, you'd take a page out of Alan Carr's book and never be seen again, because no one wants to see you again. But thanks for dropping this pile of garbage on my doorstep. You know what this movie proved? You're a one-trick pony. If the movie has nothing to do with music, you'll flounder around not knowing what to do. I mean...
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No.
When First Man came out, everyone finally figured out what I've known this whole time, that you're a talentless hack. I'm glad you're not the golden boy anymore, because you didn't even deserve to be it in the first place. The best parts of your movie are from Justin Hurwitz. His music is amazing. At least he can make a decent soundtrack while you go on about your stupid creative vision. I'm gonna get this out of the way right now. There is one good thing about First Man. One. And that is the score. I might even say this. First Man deserved to win an Oscar, and it wasn't even nominated. I mean, come on, Black Panther? Just listen to it. And then you have the version with the harp and the theremin? It's beautiful. All you had to do was make a semi-decent movie and people would still be calling you the golden boy to this day. Or Ursula who? Dude, you're just a terrible director. Look at this picture of Ryan Gosling. Such a blank looking face. I kid you not, there are a few exceptions, like that one scene where he's crying, but this is Ryan Gosling's face the entire movie. I kept yelling, begging, and pleading for him to act. Ryan, act, please. Show a little emotion. Look, Dame, I know he's your friend and all. He was there when you were the hottest thing in Hollywood, but dude, you've got to step in when he's doing a bad job. You're a director. Direct.
Alright, so the movie starts off with Neil Armstrong on a plane, and the way it's shot, not gonna lie, it's a little too intimate for me.
Dame, I feel like this was you the entire time they were filming flight scenes. Okay, closer. Closer. Alright, come on, give me the bigger lens. Dude, legit, just pull the camera back a bit.
I know what you're trying to do here, make us feel tight and claustrophobic to raise the tension of the scene, because we obviously know he's not gonna crash.
He can't crash now because he's gotta make it to the moon. However, there's gotta be better ways to shoot these scenes instead of just being close and shaking the camera a lot. Is it too much to ask to see what's going on outside the plane?
And no, these shots of us seeing the outside does not count.
Dame, we're too close to the plane to see anything. You might as well have shot a piece of metal, add plane flying effects, and we wouldn't be able to see the difference.
I was especially frustrated during the Gemini 8 mission scene where the plane starts to roll. I wanted to see the whole plane roll out of control, not just Neil Armstrong fiddle around with the switches and try not to pass out.
This is a space movie. The visuals are supposed to be amazing. Your black canvas is space and rockets. And dude, I know the ending when they land on the moon, it looks spectacular.
Neil Armstrong takes a step outside the ship and you start filming with an IMAX camera, allowing us to see the moon landing as if we were really there.
Why couldn't all the space scenes be shot like this? Maybe I've just been spoiled with Gravity and Interstellar.
Those two are visual masterpieces, but they do fall off in the story department, which is something that happens with most space movies.
The story takes a backseat to the visuals, but Dame tried to flip this upside down and make the visuals take a backseat to the story. And I mean, what? Dame, why did you choose this to be your next project? Because obviously there's a huge risk in doing so. When you've got a biopic, you automatically know how the movie is going to end, so you gotta make the journey getting there interesting. Which is something you couldn't do.
So half of the movie is like them figuring out how to get to the moon. I'm not going to be subtle here. Reading the Wikipedia article is a lot more interesting than seeing how this plays out.
The Wikipedia article goes more in depth, while here we're just getting a Cliff Notes version of it. And again, I'm going back to the way the movie was shot. I'd rather read about what happens than see what happens, because Damien didn't make seeing what happens all that worthwhile. But this isn't an event-driven story. Oh no. This is the type of movie where something doesn't need to happen in every scene, and hey, I'm all for it. Let's learn about these characters and grow to love them. Now let's look at our main character, Neil Armstrong. Dame, you made him boring.
When we first see him, he's a broken man. He just lost his daughter to brain cancer, and I was really interested to see what happens to him from this point on. We see him crying for her alone in a room while at her funeral.
How do you move on from this to become the American hero we all adore him for? I'll tell you how. He becomes a shell of himself and shuts out the rest of the world. Okay. Maybe Neil Armstrong was like that in real life, but if you're doing a character-driven movie, we have to see him become emotionally vulnerable, and we never get a scene where he does that.
Like when his friend Elliot C. dies and he really doesn't want to be at the funeral, so he storms off, leaving his wife behind.
Okay, we can see he's uncomfortable.
When Ed White tries to comfort him, he immediately shuts it down and tells him to go away. And so the scene ends before we can really see Neil Armstrong break that wall he so carefully crafted to surround himself in.
Another scene that does this is when he says goodbye to his kids.
Again, another strong start, where we see him packing and wasting time before he has to leave so he won't have to say goodbye to his kids. Throughout the movie, we see him try to keep his distance from people because he's lost the ones he's closest to time and time again. His daughter, Elliot C., Ed White. Alright, now he's sitting down with his kids. We've got to see that wall come down now, right? No, he starts talking to them as if he's at a press conference, talking professionally to his kids.
Do you think you're coming back?
We have a real confidence in the mission, and there are some risks, but...
Speaking of press conferences, watching these interviews is like watching paint dry.
If I had a choice, I'd take more fuel.
He's just so boring. We do have one glimmering light, and that comes from Buzz Aldrin. Somebody's got to make a movie about this man because his personality is that entertaining.
Clearly the error was the approach. He was coming in too slow to reach the runway. What?
Dude, the guy just died!
So you think you're going to the moon?
It's been up for grabs since Gus died. I'm just saying what you're thinking.
The man spoke his mind, and I love that. I also like the few mentions of the Russians. I mean, this is the main reason why they're in the space race to begin with. Damn, if you really wanted to create tension, you could have just added more mentions of what the world would look like if the Russians ended up winning the space race. Now that would go hand in hand with the protest scenes. The one time they were mentioned, I was kind of entertained.
I can't pay no doctor bills, but Whitey's on the moon. 10 years from now, I'll be paying still while Whitey's on the moon.
If I were to have made First Man, Buzz Aldrin would be the main character, and the movie would center around the fear of Russian takeover. But the people living in America don't care enough about that because they think the money going to NASA should be going elsewhere. You'd have this cool kind of push and pull effect where you have all the characters doubt whether what they're doing is worth it or not, and why we dare to dream those big dreams when they seem worthless and hopeless. However, the First Man we ended up with is this boring movie about this boring man who did one great thing for all mankind. It looks terrible, but it's got a good soundtrack. All right.
Stop right there.
Damn, where did you go?
I took a break, idiot. If you have as much success as I do within a span of a few years, you need a break.
Success?
Look, I messed up, okay? I didn't want the movie to be controversial, but if I kept the scene where they plant the flag, it would have looked corny.
Yeah, you got a point there.
And my Oscar connections, we can't really nominate a controversial movie. We have enough controversy with Kevin Hart.
And you think one little scene would have gotten your movie nominated?
Yes.
Wait, you said you had Oscar connections?
Yeah, I went to school with some of their kids and watched their school plays.
I knew it! I knew there was a reason you were the golden boy. Why is it Mahershala Ali now, though?
He's just a really nice dude and he's fun to hang out with. He also goes to the school plays and all of the parties.
Nah, it's good to know that he's a good dude. So is there a reason why you told me to stop?
No, not really.
So, am I free to go?
Sure, go ahead.
Alright, see you. But why?
I'm sick and tired of you calling my life's work trash.
Well, it didn't have to be this way if you just made a decent movie. Why did you shoot me?
I didn't shoot you.
What? Rich? You set me up.
Yes, I did. I didn't have a lot to do during award season. So I contacted your old pal Lee Youngfridge and we came up with a plan to finally get you to shut up.
But why me? My channel is dead as it is.
As long as you're still around, the channel will never die. Leave him like this, Lee. I hope no one remembers you.
Help.
I'm like, yeah, she's fine, and I wonder when she'll be mine. She walked past, I press rewind. See that it's one more time, and I got this soda. Remy boys, they know us. All fast money, the slow bucks. No one ever control us. Yeah, baby.